Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Jason. This is Art of Creation Homestead. We're still in the kitchen. we bought a lot of apples, okay? We bought a lot of apples, but we're making a lot of awesome stuff with these apples, and we want to show you how to do all this stuff because we do believe it's helpful. It's not just the average jams and jellies. We're going to do some crazy stuff with it, things that are really useful in your kitchen, and we're excited about this one, okay? This one for sure. We're going to take you to the stove, let Angela Kay show you how to make an amazing apple barbecue sauce.
If you've watched our applesauce making video, then you heard me say that I took out 8 cups of it for something special. This is that something special. This is that 8 cups of unsweetened applesauce. If you don't have homemade, you can use store-bought, but make sure it's unsweetened applesauce. And what this is going to be like, if apple butter and barbecue sauce got married and had a baby. This will be the baby.
This is it.
So, in here, we have 8 cups of unsweetened applesauce. And into that, we are adding 2 15-ounce cans of tomato sauce. Now, you can add your own home canned tomato sauce. We didn't have enough tomatoes in this late season. We didn't have enough tomatoes to do that.
Sure did.
Maybe next year I might. But this year we didn't have enough in the late season to make a quart, because this is essentially almost a quart of tomato sauce. That's a lot. It takes a lot of tomatoes to make that much sauce.
Yeah, it does.
So I'm using 2 15-ounce cans of tomato sauce. I chose to use organic. You can use whatever you like. I know this sounds odd. Tomatoes and apples? Just trust me.
It's a lot.
Okay, now, here we have 1.5 cups of apple cider vinegar.
Now, do you want to use the organic apple cider vinegar unfiltered with the mother for this?
You can, but I just chose to use regular because it doesn't really matter. Okay. You're not going to get any benefits from the mother because the heat's going to kill the mother. Okay. So you're not going to get any benefits from it. So why waste expensive stuff?
Exactly.
So now
this right here.
Okay, this is 6 cups of packed, not firmly packed, but packed light brown sugar. I know that sounds like a lot. But you got to remember, this is barbecue sauce. And this whole pot right here isn't going to be for one-time use. You're going to use a little bit of this along the way. And also, the reason you you really need all of that sugar, because there are so many acidic ingredients in here. Apples are acidic, and the applesauce is unsweetened. Tomato sauce, very acidic. 1.5 cups of apple cider vinegar. And with all the spices I'm about to show you that you put in, you need that. Otherwise, it's going to be an assault on your taste buds. You want this to be balanced and something beautiful to experience, not an assault. So, now, for the spices. First, we have, in this thing, I have mixed these two together. We have 2 teaspoons of liquid smoke. If you don't know what liquid smoke is, it is made in a process of where they gather smoke and make it into a liquid form. It's actually a very natural product. It's found in the barbecue aisle. So it's 2 teaspoons of liquid smoke and 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce, or however you say it. Worcestershire, however you say that. It's that, what's this here sauce? Now for all the spices. This is going to seem like a lot, but you got to remember, it's going to have some spices from apple butter and some spices from barbecue sauce. And this is making barbecue sauce. Barbecue sauce usually has a lot of spices. We have 4 teaspoons of canning and pickling salt.
Why use canning and pickling over other salts?
Canning and pickling salt is a very pure salt. It has no anti-caking chemicals in it. It has no iodine in it. It's just a very pure salt, and that's what you want for canning. And also, when you look at it, it's super fine.
Okay.
So it's going to all melt down. You're not going to have little salt particles.
So basically, all these other salts, table salt and all that,
You really shouldn't use it.
They interfere with the canning process?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
You have 4 teaspoons of granulated garlic. We have 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. We have 2 teaspoons of allspice. We have 2 teaspoons of chili powder. We have 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. You can add more if you want more heat. We have 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. We have 1 teaspoon of paprika, and we have 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika.
Awesome.
If you don't want smoked paprika or don't have it, just put in 2 teaspoons of regular paprika.
What if I want more heat in this?
If you want more heat, you can add more cayenne. You can add crushed red pepper flakes. You could even add some hot sauce.
Chipotle chili powder.
You could add chipotle chili powder. You could add ancho chili powder.
Whatever.
Whatever you like.
Yeah.
These spices, I'm giving you a very well balanced barbecue sauce.
Mild barbecue.
Mild barbecue sauce.
Yep.
If you want, you can dress this up any way you like.
Yeah. But that base needs to stay the same.
But the base, the amount of applesauce, the amount of vinegar, the amount of tomato sauce, and brown sugar all need to stay the same.
Yep.
But the amount of liquid smoke, Worcestershire sauce, and all the spices, you can up those as you see fit.
Mm-hmm.
But look at that beautiful color that you've already got.
That's awesome. Looks great.
Now, we are going to turn this, we are going to turn the heat on medium-high until it comes to a good little bubble. Once it starts bubbling really nicely, you want to turn it down to medium-low. And you want to let it simmer. You can do it on medium, but you will have to babysit it a lot more. You will have to stir it a lot more because this will scald because of all that brown sugar. Mm. So if you don't want to babysit it a lot, put it on medium-low.
Low and slow.
And just let it simmer until it is starting to thicken real nicely, until it becomes a good barbecue sauce and all the flavors are married together really well. And you'll want to come back, you'll want to stir it often because, again, that sugar can scorch really quickly. Mm-hmm. Look at this beautifulness right here, how thick it's gotten.
Looks great.
It is just absolutely gorgeous. As you can see, it was about right here before. Yep. You can see a trace of the line. It's reduced that much. Yep. And see, when you dip it up, see, you can see trails.
Yep.
That's how you know that it's thick enough. Because this has to water bath process. So it's going to get even thicker, and then as it cools in the jar, it's going to get even thicker. So this is actually the perfect consistency right here. And let me tell you, it tastes amazing.
It tastes wonderful. It smells great. How long did it cook for?
This cooked for about 2 hours, but that depends on how thick you want it.
Yeah.
If you want it thinner than this, cook it less time. Yeah. So now we're going to jar it up. Our jars have been sterilized and they're hot. There's many ways you can do that. You can put the jars in you can wash the jars really good and then put them in your canner, because you want to have your water bath canner going right now, boiling really good and put a couple of tablespoons of white vinegar in your canner to reduce any hard water deposits. But I have done this. I've sterilized and heated my jars in the dishwasher. So now we're going to scoop it up. Look at that. That is
looks great.
That is some glorious stuff right there.
How much headspace do you want on this?
You want to leave 1/2 inch headspace.
Okay. There you go.
Anything like this that has like a thicker consistency that may have a tendency to, if you feel it too full, to want to bubble over, you want to leave 1/2 inch. Now you want to debubble it because something with this consistency,
I saw some bubbles come up, yeah.
You're going to want to debubble, just like with applesauce. You're going to want to debubble something like this really well. So now you want to wipe down your rim, because this is sticky stuff. You don't want any of that to be on your rim to interrupt your seal. Now I have these flats over here, these lids. I have them in hot water that has come out of my canner, so that water is boiling.
You washed them to start with too.
And I washed them really good to start with. Now I'm going to put the band on. You just want to tighten it just finger tight, no tighter than that. Now we're going to put it in our canner. Now we're going to lower it down into our canner. And I'm going to finish filling these jars. The last beautiful jar going in. And now, because this is the Bottle Electric Water Bath Canner, you have a plate. If you're just using a stovetop canner or a stock pot, you won't have that. Now, you need to put the lid on, bring it back up to a boil. It shouldn't take long to bring it back up to a boil, just about 5 minutes or so. And once it's come to a boil, you want it to process for 20 minutes. Then you will turn the heat off and let it sit for about 10 minutes, because this is one of those things that is more likely to bubble over, so you want to let it sit for 10 minutes and rest before you pull it out of the canner. It's been 20 minutes, then we turned off the heat and let it sit for 10 minutes. Now this is one of those things that you don't want to dump any of the water off. You want to take it straight up and over.
Man, that looks awesome. Gosh.
It is beautiful.
That's awesome. You can't see as well in this picture because we're in the shade over here. There's no light, but it is. It's great.
It turned out even better than I thought. I knew it was going to turn out good.
Yep.
But honestly, it turned out better than I thought.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, this water that's on top, you can choose to let it evaporate, but sometimes it will leave water deposits on top if you do that. Normally, what I do, and they're already starting to seal.
I heard one.
Normally what I choose to do is I choose to take a paper towel or a rag and I just dab the water off, avoiding touching avoid touching the popper so that you don't make it seal.
Yeah.
And now you leave these sit for 18 to 24 hours without moving them. And as you can tell, they're already sealing.
They're already popping.
They're already sealing like crazy. And then after 18 to 24 hours, you can take the rings off and store them away.
All right, so there's that beautiful barbecue sauce, apple barbecue sauce that we've canned, and I got a little spoonful of it right here, so you can look at that. See, look at that, it looks great. That's amazing. It really is. That's an amazing barbecue sauce that you can make on your stovetop, can it, and have it all year long. I mean, for us, we shouldn't be buying any barbecue sauce now. We got it. I mean, you can use that on chicken or pork. I've already got plans to use it on a sandwich. You guys gonna have to stay tuned for that. It's going to be an amazing thing to have in your pantry. So thank you guys so much for watching. We do love you guys and appreciate you so much. My name is Jason. That's Miss Angela Kay. We love you guys. God bless you and goodbye.